welcome to another edition of Young People's Report. I'm Tiffany Prout.
And I'm John Simpkins. Today we'll visit a local school that has animals in their classrooms and get some advice on buying a new bike.
We'll also visit a local plant to learn how power is made and find out what options there are when you want a new pet.
But first, we're here at the Flint Institute of Arts taking a look at some creative and interesting art pieces. Nicole Williams found another place that specializes in creating art in a functional way. She explains.
Before Mr. Edison created the light bulb, people used these to find their way through the dark. Nowadays, all we have to do is flip a switch, but we still use candles for other reasons. Here at the Davisburg Candle Factory, they are busy making candles year-round in a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. Each style takes a slightly different process, but they all start out the same.
The candle wax is hard. It's a slab. It comes in about 16 pounds, and then we put it into a vat that melts it down, and it turns to liquid, and then we can pour the liquid. The taper line is the line that's the whole length of the building downstairs. We put on 178 strings, or wick, and then we turn the machine on, and it just runs the whole length of the building and dips into one vat. And it's the same idea as if you hand-held it. You dip it in and pull it out, and then it runs the whole length to cool, dips the whole length to cool again. And it can take anywhere from 2 hours to, about 3.5 hours. When they come off the taper line, they're all white. And most customers, when they come in, want color. This is our color tank. Now, what color do you like? Give me a color, any color. Purple. There's our purple. And we're gonna reach right over, and you gotta count to 5 when I say go. Ready? Go. Okay? Now, it's the coating on the outside, and on the inside is still white, but when it burns, the purple rolls into the white, and even if you look at it, you can't tell that it's white on the inside. Okay. These are the scents. The scent is what makes the candle smell. When we melt the wax, and it's all liquidy, then we take the scent, which is also liquidy, and we pour it in and stir it, and that's gonna get, now you said you like strawberry. Now don't stick your nose because it's really strong, just a little bit. And you smell? That's your strawberry scent. We have fruits, the blueberries and the apples, and those are all scents, and they're all used in candles. What we're known mostly for is the special decorations, names on candles, wedding candles with flowers. We have, we can put violets and daffodils and forsythia. All of our parts are hand cut out individually, and then they're individually placed on the candle.
With all the colors and styles to choose from, it's no wonder candles are so popular. From the Davisburg Candle Factory, I'm Nicole Williams, reporting for YPR.
Watching an artist work is okay, but if you want to be the artist, you might be interested in a group of local kids who are learning to do just that. Ryan Engwis visited this class and filed this report.
How are the Wolverines this morning?
Great.
Because the school has such an excellent reputation, we have arranged some of the finest artists in our community to be here today.
That great group includes some of the state's best, from printing and sculpting to aerial photography. Most importantly, they are bringing art to the schools.
The program is a way to bring artists into the school system to meet students and to show students that art is fun and you can make a good living doing it.
I think it's neat for kids to be able to work with pottery and be able to see it rise and how it rises and how it feels. I learned that it's real hard to do to get it centered and to be able to keep it like that after you start working with it.
Well, we're going to fly home, and over Bay City, coming over Bay City, we're going to see this lighthouse. This is a lighthouse, Saginaw River Rear Range Light.
I would hope that the boys and girls I talk to about photography will take their cameras this weekend and experiment taking some pictures, because it's easy to do, it's lots of fun, and it can be a livelihood later on in life.
In addition to more traditional art like painting or sculpting, this program brings more unusual art forms to the school, such as blacksmithing or glass blowing.
You can see I'm going round and round, back and forth. You got to get it heated evenly, and I'm going to blow up the body right now.
And the kids' reaction?
I thought it was really neat how he could just, when it got hot enough, how he could just like break it apart and then make all this neat stuff out of it.
It's neat just watching the artists make their projects.
Even if these kids aren't picking up a lifelong career in art, they can see how art can impact their life. From Woodcrest Elementary, I'm Darren McCullough reporting for YPR.
If you want to see art, you can come to an art gallery like this. Or, if you're lucky, you can see an artist in action right in your very own school. Darren McCullough has our story.
Because I like to draw cartoons.
How come?
Because I like exaggerating on people's faces.
This is Stickman. I got another conclusion right here. Stick guy. And I'd call him Stick Guy and Stickman in public.
At my last one, I just took a regular drawing class, but that wasn't so cool, so I decided to come to a cartooning class because my cousin did, and he thought it was really cool.
I chose this class because one of my friends recommended it to me.
Who's that?
Who? Nick.
Hi.
Cartooning isn't taken seriously in schools, and so you don't get a chance to do it.
What's so special about cartooning?
I think it's the creativity, is that it allows a freedom that most other art mediums may not have. I try to put in a little bit of basic anatomy. I try to get them to explore different medias, and try to get them to think, try to get them to solve some problems with it. And it's just a matter of thinking and learning, and plus having fun. That's important.
With a little bit of practice, anybody can draw great cartoons. From the Midland Center for the Arts, I'm Ryan Engwis, reporting for YPR.
We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll take a tour of a local power plant.
Don't go away.
Have you ever wondered where electricity comes from? Well, YPR's Katie Travis did, so she took a tour of a local plant and filed this report.
Every week, YPR brings you stories from across Michigan. But without one very important resource, this would never happen. Here in Essexville, the Kine-Weddock power plant generates much of the electricity you use every day. That's enough power to bring YPR into over 20 million TV sets with plenty to spare.
One thing about electricity, as it's made, it's used. You cannot store it. So basically, we started off with water power at our dams, and then we went into coal. Basically, here at Kine-Weddock, we use coal, oil, and gas.
First, coal and oil is brought in by train and boat. Over 7,400 tons of coal is crushed and blown into large boilers each day.
Now, in order for the coal to be burned efficiently, it goes in the boiler. It looks just like face powder. So we run the coal through mills, comes out like face powder, and gets blown into the boilers. Basically, a boiler is a big box. And on the outside of the box is tubes that contain water. Okay, so what we do, the temperature inside our boilers is about 2,000 to 2,500 degrees, and the fuel we put in, either coal, gas, or oil, ignites inside the boiler box, and then that heats up the tubes. The heat goes into the water, makes steam. The steam goes up to our steam drums on top of the boiler.
The steam that is made turns large fans called turbines at 3,600 revolutions per minute.
in school, I'm sure you probably if you haven't done it, you will be doing it. We take a horseshoe magnet, okay? And then that magnet has lines of force in between the two heads of the magnet. And what we do is we take a wire, and if you spin the wire in between the heads of the magnet, you'll actually generate electricity.
As the turbines spin, electricity is produced and is distributed over a vast network of power lines and substations until it comes into your house. The Kine-Weddock Generating Complex makes enough electricity for the entire Saginaw Valley, and it powers nearly a third of the state to over 1 million homes and businesses. In Essexville, I'm Katie Travis reporting for YPR.
With nice weather heading our way, many kids will be hitting the pavement with their bikes. But if you need a new bike this year, Nick Witchger has a few tips for you. He has our story.
The sport of biking has grown by leaps and bounds in the past couple of years. Today we're at the stable in Saginaw, and we're going to take a look at some of the things you should consider when buying a new bike.
Well, to get started in mountain biking, what you should really start thinking of is the bike that you want to purchase, the purpose that you want to use the bike for, and also accessories like a helmet. That's very important to use. Also having possibly a glove, a bicycle glove, so if you do fall off your bike, you're not going to skid up your hands. So the bike part of it, you should be starting anywhere from $200 to $300 to get started at our store, and you're going to get a very nice bike. What you have to do is get onto the bike just like you are right now. You want to be able to straddle the top tube of the bike and make sure that you're not hitting it when you're straddling it. Also, a good idea is to pick up the front tire with your feet flat and have a few inches of distance between the tire and the floor. That way, when you're jumping off the bike, you know that you're going to be safe without hitting the top tube. Okay, the next thing is when you're on the bike and you're riding, you want to have a small break in your elbow so they're not locked out straight. You want to have them slightly bent like they are right now. That way it allows your body to absorb shock and not get the shock transfer from the front of the bike right through your arms up into your back. That way you can get a sore neck. And the last thing you want to make sure when you buy a bike is to test ride the bike. Go outside of the store, ride it around. You want to feel very comfortable.
I've got my helmet, glasses, and gloves, and I'm ready to take this bike for a test ride. From the stable in Saginaw, this is Nick Witchger reporting for YPR.
We have to take another break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at a group of local kids who are covering all of the bases.
Don't go away. We have lots more to come on YPR. Kids all over mid-Michigan will be heading out to their local ball fields. Sean O'Neill followed an entire season on the game and filed this report.
Just like the big leagues, the coaches for Saginaw Township's South Little League get together each year to draft new players. The new prospects here are all kids, as young as 5 years old, and they're all hoping to catch a coach's eye.
They check for the batting, the catching, the throwing, then they see what team if they want them or not.
The good players usually go first, and they usually look at skill and talent and self-esteem and team spirit, I think.
Trials and draft are only the beginning of the season for coaches. We asked some of them how hard the draft is compared to the rest of the season.
Really, it's the hardest. The rest of the season's a piece of cake. You go out and you teach the kids the game of baseball, played the right way, sportsmanship, and that's the fun part.
This is probably the hardest part. The easy part's when you get the kids out on the field and get them throwing the ball and swinging the bat. This is really difficult.
But there was one coach who disagreed, a new coach to the league with only 3 players returning from last year.
This is the easy part. Actually, most of it is all pretty easy. It's just the time. Trying to get the time to, coach.
So while some of the coaches took lots of notes and wrote down lots of numbers, Brock Modlin took very few. By the actual draft, some coaches had computerized their notes and sorted the kids by their scores. Rock was a bit less prepared.
Should I have another tryout?
In fact, he was worried that because his team was mostly new, they couldn't even compete.
I'm picking a whole brand new team, and we're going to have a couple teams here that ain't even going to compete in this league.
Fortunately, the results of the draft are not just names on paper. They're a baseball team, groups of 12 kids who play baseball. And it doesn't matter how they looked at tryouts, what matters is how they look on the field.
Go, go!
Well, everybody thought we were going to be the worst team because we were real small, but we came out and just started winning them all because we have lots of confidence in each other and we're playing really hard.
9 out of 10 times, the team that works the hardest will win. And that's really what these kids have done. They've worked hard, and their record shows it, and they're also a great bunch of kids. I mean, you can't ask for a better team, and, you know, I'm not just saying that. That's the way they are.
All right, John, baby!
Woo! Near the end of the season, Rock's team is 14-2, which brings us back to something Rock said at tryouts.
You go by gut feeling. That's about all you can go by in this, and don't worry about it. Then whatever team you end up with, you play the best you can.
From Saginaw Township's South Little League fields, I'm Sean O'Neill, reporting for YPR.
If you could have a superpower, what would you like to be able to do? Would you like to fly, have X-ray vision, or super strength? That's a question we asked a group of local kids in our YPR Question of the Week.
I would like to have the power to go underwater and breathe, and probably be invisible so I could stay away from my brothers and sisters.
I'd like to be strong because my last name's Strong.
I'd like to fly because you could really get anywhere that you want to and anytime you want without having to drive in a car or anything.
I would like to have boy superpower so when I just blink my eye, they go away. My superpower would be to breathe in outer space because I would be the first living person to live in space.
A super hockey player because I really like hockey. I watch it all the time and I think it's the best sport. If I could have any superpower, it'd probably be to change sizes because I'd be able to ride ants to school and I'd be able to take trips on worms.
To bring back extinct animals so that they could live with us and so that any animals that were going to be extinct wouldn't get extinct.
It would be to be a super gymnast because I like gymnastics. So I could win a lot of gold medals and I wouldn't lose my balance on the balance beam. To be a super sports player because I really like sports and I'd really like to be really good at it.
From one of my video games I have at home called Mega Man X Score, I'd like to be Mega Man because I like all the stuff he does, like air dashing, shooting stuff like that.
If you have a suggestion for Question of the Week or a story idea for YPR, drop us a line. The best way is to write us a note and send it to Young People's Report, NBC 25, P.O. Box 250, Clio, Michigan 48420. You can also call, send us a fax, or email us. You never know, you could be our next story.
We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to take a look at some very interesting animals.
Don't go away.
When you think of a perfect pet, a dog, cat, or even a parakeet may come to mind. Jaquelyn Thomas visited a local pet store and found a few more options you may want to consider. She has our story.
In the past, if you wanted a pet, you only had a few choices. A dog, a cat, or one of these fuzzy little friends. Nowadays, you have many other options.
Sugar gliders, prairie dogs, some of the smaller monkeys.
These animals may sound like cool pets to choose from, but some of them are a big responsibility, which you may not be ready for.
Most of them are going to have to be fed and watered every day. Some of them might need veterinary treatment on a yearly basis. Some animals like monkeys also need dental care.
So with all the new pets to choose from, how do you know which pet is right for you?
I think a good starter pet for kids all around would be a dwarf rabbit. You can let them run around the house, you can housebreak them, and they stay pretty much to their cage. Yeah, I would avoid anything like some of the larger reptiles, tarantulas, scorpions, and I would say that kids shouldn't get ferrets unless they're over 10 years of age. A sugar glider is a marsupial flying squirrel from Australia, New Guinea area. It likes to eat insects, yet it eats all kinds of fruits and berries. Hedgehogs are a pretty good pet. You can housebreak them like a cat. Then again, it's a solitary animal. You should only have one. They don't do well in pairs at all. Prairie dogs are pretty good pets too. You get them at this age. They're extremely friendly. You can let them run around the home. Some people have been successful housebreaking them. They're pretty good pets. I think they're excellent pets. Alligators are a pet that, again, once you're friendly and gentle with them from the time they're 10 inches, when they get 4 or 5 feet long, they're extremely gentle yet. Chinchillas are a really nice pet, but a lot of problem with the chinchillas is that people don't realize that with fur-bearing animals like the chinchillas, the rabbits, and the ferrets, on a really, really warm day where it gets over 75, 80, 85 degrees in an apartment or a home, those animals will die from heat exhaustion.
Pets can be a lot of fun, but they are also a lot of work. If you're considering getting a pet, discuss it with your family and make sure everyone knows the responsibilities involved. From Ocean Odyssey in Saginaw, I'm Jaquelyn Thomas reporting for YPR.
It's not unusual for a school to have visitors in their classrooms. In fact, it can be a real learning experience. But at North Road Elementary in Fenton, the guests are a little different. Amanda Rodriguez spent a day there and filed this report.
Now, what kind of animal is this? Does anyone happen to know? Oh, right here. Right in the white shirt, yeah.
A lizard?
That's right, this is a type of lizard.
At most schools, when the teachers say that they have animals in their classroom, it's just a figure of speech. But not here. At North Road Elementary in Fenton, when they say animals, they really mean it.
This is Melbourne. That's his name. Melbourne is a 7-year-old carpet python. Now, looking at him, do you think he's from the rainforest or the desert? Rainforest. Okay, what do you think? Oh, other one. Rainforest, good. This is a rainforest snake.
Well, we have various animals from Australia. Some of them are from the rainforest and some of them are from the outback or the desert area in Australia.
These students are participating in the Living Science program, where live animals are brought into the school to spend an entire day.
The goal of this program is to educate children through hands-on, being able to touch and hold the animals and learn about the habitat in which they live, very different from animals you'd find around Michigan.
Special trainers go from class to class, talking to kids about the animals. The students have a chance to pet or even hold most of the animals. For most of the kids, it was great, but it did make a few nervous.
Oh my gosh,
oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Good job.
Scary looking.
He can look a little bit scary.
Okay, now go.
Good job.
A lot of these kids will never experience being able to hold or touch a lot of these different types of animals, so it's great to see the expression on their face when you bring a different type of animal in.
Okay, this is Radar. That's his name. Radar is a 5-year-old Bennett's wallaby. A wallaby is a type of kangaroo.
Today, the Living Science people came in and they brought in animals from Australia. They talked about different kinds of animals, how they live and where they live, and what they eat and what they're called.
Well, I liked that we could see the animals and pet them and hold them. Not only do the kids learn about the animals, but they also develop a respect for wildlife. Not to mention, it's quite a bit of fun. From North Road Elementary in Fenton, I'm Amanda Rodriguez reporting for YPR.
That's all the time we have for this weekend. Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
This little tree frog is called a White's tree frog, okay? Now, the reason why he's named a White's tree frog is a man named Dr. White happened to discover him first. But Australians also have another name for him. They like to call him blue dumpies. Look at their eyes. What does this guy have? Right on the eyes. I'll give you a hint. We have them too. Eyelids.